my phone.
Really?
Yeah, I was talking to you here, and did you guys know you can say, "Hey Siri, find my phone," and then
Don't change the
she'll make it
subject.
ring?
Don't change the subject.
Hi, good
I have been on
morning.
here shucking and jiving.
Did she do a good job, guys?
No, usually I do. Usually I'm like, I'm not waiting for her and I go. But today I was like, I'm going to wait. And I've been waiting and waiting
Let me
and
find
waiting.
something to put my phone on so I don't have to hold it.
I had started this notion of the value proposition of PSV and why we feel like it's so important. So I was trying to get started. It's not half as fun of a conversation without, someone to pick on. Um,
She picks on
uh,
me, guys.
so here is the brutal truth. And if your algorithm is in tune to any of this, like mine is, it's being reinforced daily. Like the research behind this, the number of organizations that are popping up focused on communities specifically tethered to the benefits of belonging is
Hmm.
growing. But here's the brutal truth. This is not a nice to have. Our mission is rooted in people feeling seen and validated and supported and connected, benefiting from a sense of belonging, specifically in a school community setting, is vital to healthy human development. I think parents come into schools almost gaslighting ourselves. I know I did it. Like, I think you're there for the academics. You think
Yeah.
I'm going to give them all that other stuff outside of school, right? And yes, you should. You should
And
absolutely do that outside of school.
I know for
But
me, because, we didn't start in a private school. I grew up in public school. So when you go on the tours, you're like, oh my God, everyone is just so inclusive and this environment is so loving and it's not going to be a big difference from public school. And in some ways, it's not. But for me, it was like immediately I saw this like separation between like our kids can hang out, but there was no real space or community for Black parents, you
hmm
know? And so, like,
but who do
my
your kids hang out with when you were like one of two in a grade?
so that's the thing, like for my oldest, he would get invited to sleepovers with his friends that were white, his white friends. And it was completely different, I will say, for my oldest and my youngest, but I do attribute it to PSV, and I'll tell you why. So with my oldest, there was like, oh yeah, we want him to come over, but then I would come over to pick him up, and you find out that there were a group of moms that were all like hanging out, but it was like your kid comes but you're not there, you're
Right.
not invited, but these other moms were invited. And I don't think it was intentional. I think it has to do with like you hang out with people you look like or you have things in common with. And I think just those families not really knowing us, um, just didn't even think we weren't even a thought. And so when PSV started and when we were more intentional, when I was more intentional with making community amongst the Black families, then I found that the white families were more so like, oh, you guys went to dinner? Let's all go together, versus
Right.
when
Well,
I was
and
alone,
right.
you know?
Well, and that's the layering, and I've heard this from school administrators too. That's the layering of PSV helping to establish from moment one which of us want to be included and engaged, and which of us, like parents, choose private school for a lot of reasons. Black and brown
Yeah.
parents do too. Some of us have bandwidth, some of us don't. Some like we're not a monolith. And but a lot of schools are like they do this tap dance on, well, are they interested in this or that? Like they will assume no, unless you initiate
Yeah.
engagement.
You
But
have to.
I want to finish this earlier thought I had, and that was, again, like parents gaslighting themselves around socialization, in particular racial socialization when it comes to private school. And the reality is, yes, you do need to do it outside of school, but the formative years, where do you spend most of your time?
Mhm.
In school. Your child spends the bulk of their time or a significant amount of time in school, and that's during the most important formative years, formative developmental years, like the stuff that they are soaking up that is going to inform their psyche for the rest of their life, right? And so when that is not intentionally cultivated in a school community, something's informed. We have lots and lots and lots of research about that, right? When kids feel othered, when kids feel like they got to shrink, or I mean, there's already this natural dynamic of trying to fit in, like just because of adolescence in and of itself.
Period. Yeah.
And throw on that the pressure in private school to excel, to achieve, like regardless of race. That makes us categorically at risk for mental health issues, right? Because that's what the research says. That's from national health organizations. Add on the layering of not seeing yourself, and these kids are having to deal with a lot. And throw in the world and the news, it's a lot. It is a lot. And so, shame on us if in these elite institutions where we are supposed to be churning out the creme de la creme, shame on us if we are not cultivating intentionally their identity development, if we're not building them up. Like, great, you got an A in math, but do you know yourself? Do you know your history and your culture?
Mhm.
Do you
Or
know you are the
how do you
gift?
feel? How do you feel about yourself? So it's not even do you know, like, what are you thinking? You hear these students who are just struggling, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
They're doing well academically, but they're not, their self esteem is so low,
yeah,
you know?
yep, yep. And so much of that, I think the challenge is it's so subtle.
Hmm.
It's often very subtle. And I think about my own experience when I mean, it's a long time ago, but when I was in private school, it was not a horrific experience, but it was, I just shriveled. I just shriveled because I was confused mostly. And I certainly didn't fit in. I didn't really try anymore after a certain point. I was there for the academics, and I had my line of sight on graduating. Like I remember we had a countdown, counting down the days to graduation.
Aw,
I know. It's such a missed opportunity for us to really enjoy school. Like when you
right.
talk about your schooling, it's not that was not mine. Like yours sounds like it was fun.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
From the moment we stepped on campus, like we recently were looking at videos. I used to bring my camcorder to school and record. And Kamal, he went to school, it's very mixed. You know, I went to all
Mhm.
black high school. He was like, "This looks like a movie." Watching our, he's like, "When did you guys learn?" Because we're in class
Right.
having debates, but I'm recording the debates that we're
Yeah.
having. I'm like, "We're learning right there. What are you talking about?" You
Right.
know?
But even in the socialization, like that is what I'm talking about, the subtleness of all of this. We don't give enough credit to what you learn just from
Yeah,
peers. And that
yeah,
socialization is that's what's gonna prepare you for
yes,
life.
yeah, and
You know?
support you
Yes.
because when
Yes.
things go down, like those, my high school people are the ones that are here first. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So, and they showed
Absolutely.
up to the soiree too.
But we didn't have any dance this year.
Uh, where did that come from?
I
Wh-
mean,
What made you? Are you
because
talking about like our flash mob and our?
yes,
Yeah,
yes. You are the former like you bring the dance. Come on now, like get yourself together for
we
next
didn't
year.
need it. We didn't need it this year because of the juke joint vibe. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't need it,
The spin is
and
real.
I know it's really good. This is what I do in arguments with my husband too.
Ah,
We also
I'm
didn't
in
need
great
it because
company.
we had so many. Shut up. We had so many line dances. And
Yeah,
people were doing
but
line dances. So they didn't need like this choreographed dance, you
we
know?
do need to do some sort of. We got to get Jody more engaged earlier
Yes.
next time so that we because I know I needed the tutorial. They were doing line dances and I was like, oh wait, I have half of that, but not all of
Uh-huh.
it.
No, I missed most of that. I was upstairs, but when I see the videos, I'm like, oh, I missed all the line dancing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a
All
thing.
right, for
Okay.
next year. Next year.
Yeah.
Who
But man, how did
why
we?
can't we get folks to join us?
I don't know. This is either like we're making like such fools of ourselves,
We're
maybe that
not.
people are like, okay, it's the
I
train wreck
don't
you love to
care.
watch. You want to watch, but you don't want to be a part of.
I think that's, but I mean, like literally, I come in my pajamas. I throw on this. Are y'all sick of
Danisha,
seeing this?
you are not
I'll
the
comb my
you
hair.
are not the example, right?
No,
Sorry.
I try to, I'm saying like, I try to make this so comfortable. I mean, let's be real. I will go to the grocery store like this as well and pray that I don't see anybody I know. But like, honestly, like, join the conversation. Does anyone have anything
I
they want
think people,
to?
but I also think people are like we live in this constant state of multitasking.
Yeah, that's true.
So people are doing stuff, and that's fine. Like I'm not enough.
Who's that?
I can't fill this space with you.
You
I'm not
see that?
enough.
You see that? What is that? What are you doing? No
I
one's
mean,
saying that.
we're
I'm
trying
just
to keep,
saying,
but look,
I'm inviting folks if they want to join us.
that
The invitation's there.
that's it.
You are enough. You are the gift, Lisa Johnson.
What do you mean
If
by
if
that?
no one's told you that today,
Don't make light of this. Don't make
you
light
are
of
the
this.
gift. I'm
For those
not.
of you who don't know, don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Do you hear me? Why is she laughing at me? Don't make light of this. This is not
I'm
funny.
not. I'm
This is
not.
it's not funny. You
Please,
are the gift.
please
When you
share.
are in a predominantly white institution or any place where you are one of the only ones, or even if you mentally feel like you're one of the only ones, tell yourself you are the gift because in that space, it's like our mind does something funny to try and help us feel depleted or not adequate enough. But the
Yeah.
reality is, your difference makes you a gift, right? Because the real world is different. Look out your window. Everyone doesn't look like you. Everyone doesn't act like you. Everyone doesn't live like you. Difference is good, right? And so, in a predominantly white institution, racial diversity, not just any diversity, racial diversity yields stronger academic outcomes for all students, no matter race, creed, sex, gender, whatever, for all students, right? So, by that definition, racial diversity, if you are racially diverse, if you identify in any kind of way that is diverse, you're a gift to that community.
I have a question. Did you I saw you post one of the students. Did you post all the students interviews?
No, I posted two of them.
Which two?
Um, you didn't read the caption.
I didn't I've been decluttering my home, people. So after the soiree, that's been my focus. I have not looked at Instagram. This is my however long we're on Instagram now. I will see you tomorrow, and that's when I'll be on Instagram. I'm hoping to be done on Friday, and then I will
Okay,
be all in. Now who?
so all that to say, now
Yes.
who's long winded?
She
Donnie
didn't.
and Addison were in this one.
Oh, you did. You did do
I'm
Addison.
prepping up to do a few more today. So yeah, y'all check that feed. We have a question.
Oh, good.
What elementary school do you recommend in LA that actively supports a PSV vision? I know there are a lot of factors, but can you maybe shout out some that stand out? You're trying to get me in trouble. That's
Right.
that's an I gotcha question.
What
No, no, no,
area? Let's
no, no,
ask
no.
what area do they live in though?
Well, but yeah. So if you can answer that question, but here's the reality. So the best way for you to figure out what is best for you and your family and your child is for you to meet other parents and talk to other parents in these schools.
Yeah.
PSV's role in that is to somewhat help facilitate that. And so, for example, on April, I want to say April 12th, I want to say, check your emails.
Yeah.
We're having a parent to parent mix and mingle, a virtual event. And that is an opportunity for you to hear from parents, connect with parents, and any of our large community events. If this is a question that is top of mind for you, you should be at our back to school picnic.
Absolutely.
That's where you can
Yeah.
in person talk to parents in LA, elementary schools, or all schools, are actually really. But that is the best way. PSV is not endorsing any one school. There are some great schools. There are some schools that would not be right for me. They might be right for you. That said,
It
That's
also
a,
depends on, like you just said, what you're looking for. So if you're looking for a more progressive school versus a more traditional school, um, on the elementary side, I feel like you have a lot of good choices. We have a lot of great partner schools. Well, I can't see the chat, so are
oh,
they
she said
asking
she lives
something
in
else?
Inglewood but will travel. She says her daughter was on the PSV council and she's in college now, but I started over.
Oh, she
Hmm.
got it. Was it a surprise, baby?
Danisha,
What? I'm just asking.
you'll have to
You got
forgive
one
my
in
friend.
college and one you're starting over. I'm just,
We have another question. Ooh, I like these questions.
let's hear it.
What are your thoughts about utilizing sites like Niche to assess the current state of school or its progress?
I would say treat it like you treat like Yelp, like
Grain of salt.
don't yep, don't believe everything. A lot of times when people write reviews, it's when they're angry and disgruntled.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna always get the truth. So you can look at it, but and take some of the things that people are saying like
I
with
like
today a grain of
Niche.
salt, but know that a lot of times when people go to write reviews, it's when they have some sort of gripe against the school.
I like Niche to help me figure out geography. But
Really?
that's not like if I need a comprehensive list or because I mean honestly they had a monopoly for a very long time. The technology is starting to catch up a little bit, and so they're going to have some competition soon. But there really weren't a lot of solutions that would aggregate some of the information they have.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is nice. So if, it depends on what you're using them for, but use
Mm-hmm.
them with a lot of healthy skepticism. Um, Epic 24 is back. She said she had two surprises. Twins?
Oh, good for
Yeah.
you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah. I don't
Oh,
know.
congratulations. There was
Um,
a period I mean, I know this is nothing, but what's her name?
um, I don't know how to pronounce it. Epico 24?
Okay.
EPIKO 24.
Epico, there was a period where I was like, I would have loved a surprise. At this point, I mean, I'm 50, so if I got a surprise, I think I would be, whew, I can't even think about it. However, congratulations to you and your two bundles, and good luck with your search. And you're
Yes.
in Inglewood, so you're a neighbor of mine. I'm down the street.
Yes. But you commute. She commutes.
Yeah, and we have a bus
Yeah.
too that goes there, so it's a 10-minute drive from here.
I will say this. If you're, for me, here are the starting things I would use if I'm assessing a school, any school. Who's the head of school? Who's on the board of the school?
Yes, the board. The board is so important.
Do I know any of those people? Can I get to any of those people? Can I have a conversation with any of those people?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then last, talking to parents. And I mean,
Process.
not the parents the school puts you in touch with. That's great. They're going to give you the talking points, as they should. And that's important. But it's extra helpful, I think, if you can find your own parental sources and not just one. Here's the thing, this is a super individual, personal choice. There's no one who can or should be able to tell you and influence you. No one person should be able to do
Mm-hmm.
that. It
And if
needs
you
to be,
go, oh God, I was
no,
gonna
just
say
to
she
say,
goes to the events too. So
yeah.
that's where I met my people at the different schools. So like you will get parents who are pushed. And I'll say for my current school, I'm one of those parents. But I tell my current school and my old school, I am fully transparent because what I
So
don't want is for folks to enroll and you've been fed this like storybook school.
someone just commented about that very point. She says, but that being said, the board will never say anything quote unquote bad about the institution they support. Have you met me? That's not true.
Yeah.
And also, I'm not saying anything bad. There's no perfect institution. And I do you a disservice if I don't keep it real about the
Yeah.
work that we have to do, right? So I think it depends on the board member, and I think it depends on the perspective and the inclination and the personality of the people you talk to.
Right. And the
I feel,
questions you ask, if you
yes.
ask very direct questions, you'll get direct answers.
And
If
if
you
you
ask
don't, that's
broad,
telling too. If
yeah,
you
if you
don't,
ask broad questions, then where you give them wiggle room, then you may not get the answers you want. So don't be afraid to ask the questions that you have, because you are going to be putting your children, and like Lisa talked about earlier, your kids are there more than they're with you
yeah.
during the school year.
Here's the thing too. If you feel like you're getting talking points, if you feel like you're getting the runaround and not specific answers, every answer is an answer. Are you hearing it?
Hmm.
If you have some sort of gut reaction or response to what you are hearing, trust that. That's real. If it doesn't feel adequate enough, if it doesn't feel like, if it feels like they're skirting or feels like the talking point, trust that. And just know that. That's not to say give it a ding, but just know that's one more piece of information. Let me move over here and see if I can get some more. Or redirect your question so that to Denisha's point, it's more specific. I'm
Hmm.
located in New York. My daughter's in a private school, and right now it works. But as I'm speaking to different parents, there's dialogue around private schools having less resources than the public schools.
Mm, mm.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? That's the case for if your child needs more resources. Let's say if you have any type of learning differences, then that is, I know here, and I'm sure it's like that there as well, that is 100% correct. A lot of these
That's
private schools do not have those
that's
resources.
one of those
Yeah.
myths. That is definitely one of those myths where people think, well, private means all
Yep.
kinds of supportive services available. She says, so while she's still very young, I'm trying to do homework as to whether we keep her here or not.
Hmm.
The biggest thing I like about what you have just said is you're being mindful and staying on top of this need. So here's what a lot of parents don't do. They don't realize their child and their children's needs will shift as they develop. So you constantly have to be checking in and say, well, who's my child today? Grade to grade, division to division. What are their needs now?
Yep.
And the more you do that ahead of time, the better. I mean, it's funny because a lot of times when I talk to schools and they're talking about, admissions and retention and all that stuff, and I'm like, but don't you know, healthy parents are constantly looking for schools because you don't know when the need is going to shift or the
Yep.
dynamic's going to shift or the life circumstance might have to move is going to shift.
Yep.
So you are constantly assessing schools and options.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so while, like now it works, it's smaller classes, very much, wondering if that will stifle her because the world isn't like this. So there is also this thing
Is
where
this the same parent?
same parent, and we'll
Okay.
move on after this, but I just want to say um, I went through this a little bit where I was really kind of just plan for the known and unknown variables. She said she's only 5, so maybe I'm jumping the gun. So this
Oh,
is what
okay.
this is where
Okay.
I'm going. Take a beat, look at your child, and ask yourself one question: is she happy? Does she se-
Especially at
does
5.
she seem to be thriving right now? Is she having a lot of joy and fun? That is the focus.
Yep.
That is the focus. And it may not mean that she's there forever, but in this moment, assess for that. Don't lose sight of that because I think oftentimes there's no perfect education. There's
Mm-mm.
no perfect institution. Public, private, charter, homeschool, all has issues. They
Yep.
also have beautiful things about them. And so, I always say this, and then we're going to move on. I actually need to run, but the greatest single indicator for how your child is going to turn out when it comes to schooling, it comes to where you're sending them, comes to their experience, is you, the parent, right? Think about it. You know plenty of other people who, I went to private school. I know plenty of other public school kids who are doing it right now, who are successful. It is not like a precursor for guaranteed success. The biggest
No.
thing is parenting, you showing up, you being engaged, you modeling, you having conversations with your child. Schools don't raise children, families do. That's the quote of the day.
I'll say, there's Lisa. Yes. Lisa, you are
Woo!
so funny to me. Oh yeah, we were talking earlier. She was just on. I was like, "What? I've not had coffee yet." And she
Woo!
was on. She was like, "It's my coffee. It is the coffee."
It is.
So
It is.
you
That's
got
what.
Lisa on caffeine today, you guys. There's been a lot of knowledge dropped. She has been hitting these quotes left and right. So
Join us tomorrow, where we'll talk about what are we talking about
I
tomorrow?
don't know.
Oh, tomorrow's the. You know what? Tomorrow's the That
Ice.
yes.
Yes.
I think I want to crash one. Maybe we can live. Oh no, I don't think it's till the afternoon. But maybe we can go to one and live from there.
We need to figure out what our rights are or what we can and cannot do as a nonprofit.
I mean, if I go over to my personal page,
I got you. Okay. I'm down. But this is Danisha. I'm talking to
here's my
someone.
perspective on this.
This is me speaking, not Private School Village.
Here's my perspective on this. I'm not advocating for anyone
Mm-mm.
politically.
No.
I'm advocating for children and families.
Yeah, we can take a stand when it comes to like the rights of human rights, the rights of families.
Yes.
So without it being political.
Yes. Now, whether or not someone else perceives that as political, that is on them, I believe. But yeah, I mean, our organization is for the public benefit. It's not about Lisa's personal perspective on politics or Denisha's personal perspective on politics. But I do believe public benefit also includes, especially care and concern for children. And on that note, we're gonna say goodbye.
Yes, 9 o'clock.
Liam should be in school right now. Mic drop.